The Berkshire Record Office presents Making the Berkshire Pie for Heritage Open Days 2021. The recipe is taken from the Berkshire Federation of Women's Institutes from Hand to Mouth publication of 1944. You will need 2 pounds of chops. We use a kilo of pork, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 4 sour apples, 2 onions, salt and pepper and allspice to taste. We also need flaky pastry, which is rough pastry. We actually used puff pastry. You'll also need a pie dish, chopping boards and knives, and don't forget to preset your oven for gas mark 4, 180 degrees C, 160 degrees fan. First you need to peel the apples. There are 4 altogether, so peel all the skin off, and we don't need the cores either. Once you've peeled the skin, you'll then need to actually slice the apples. Do this thinly, so it's not too thick, and discard all the bits that you don't need. Once you've cut all your apples, you'll then work on the onions. Again, we need to slice these thinly, remove the core bits because we don't need those, and slice them nice and thinly and set aside for when we put the dish together. Then we'll move on to the actual chops. Now the recipe just says trim the chops. This basically means taking the fat off. It doesn't actually say what to do with the chops after that. So we decided to chop them up nice and small into small cubes to make them more edible within the pie. Again, work through all the chops until you've completed it for all of the ingredients and set it aside, ready to layer into your pie. Once you've completed all the chopping of the chops, you need to layer your ingredients in your pie dish. The first layer is the apple, so put a nice layer at the bottom, and then you'll need to sprinkle it with some of the brown sugar. You can add salt and pepper and allspice to taste at any point, either before or after the meat, but usually it's on with the meat layer. So add your cubes of meat so it's nice and full, and then you're going to top that with the onion. And you need to repeat the layers until your pie dish is completely full. Roll out your pastry and use your pie dish to get a rough idea of how much pastry you need to actually cover it with. Slice out your pastry and then peel it and layer it on top of the pie, making sure it's well covered, and crimp the edges to seal it in. Trim off the edges, and then it's a good idea to cut a small hole in the middle of the pie. And then you need to brush it with some milk. Pop the pie into the oven for about 2 hours or so. We covered the top with some foil just to stop it burning, and then removed it for the last 10 to 15 minutes to brown. You can serve it with whatever you like, potatoes, green beans, anything like that. We found it pretty tasty actually, but we might take some onion out and perhaps add some leeks or potatoes or something. But that's entirely up to you. If you want to have a go, why not? We hope you enjoyed watching us make it this time. If you're interested in our services about local history, family history, or anything like that, or even more edible history, do check out our website, berkshirerecordoffice.org.uk, and we're also on social media. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed Heritage Open Days.